Welcome to the Maine Real Estate Roundtable podcast. I'm Bobbie Grenier, your trusted guide to navigating the world of real estate in Maine. Get ready to debunk mortgage myths, unravel real estate mysteries, and learn tips to avoid costly mistakes. Whether you're an industry pro, an overwhelmed buyer, confused seller, or simply curious about life in Maine, this is the podcast for you. Everyone, welcome to the Maine Real Estate Roundtable podcast. I'm Bobbie Grenier, your trusted guide to all things Maine real estate, and I'm excited and a squeak nervous about what we're diving into, and I hope you'll stick around to hear me out. So think of it this way, just like a good friend who discreetly points out when you've got something in your teeth, or your zipper is down, or maybe you have toilet paper on the bottom of your shoe that you're dragging around. I'm here to offer some well-intended and friendly advice. I want you to always think of me as your ally and your friend to becoming your best. So over the years, I've seen my fair share of transactions hit snags and sometimes go sideways due to common pitfalls. And I want to share my insights with you. And while I may be calling out some agents on certain behaviors, please know that it's all coming from a place of support and growth. So let's dive in. All right, friends, let's start at the beginning. So completing the contract correctly and thoroughly is essential. That is the start of the transaction getting to the closing table, and everything needs to be done correctly at that point. So I'm talking about checking name spellings, property information, letting the parties know if more than one lot is conveying or maybe not the whole property is conveying. Here's the golden rule. Don't assume that the parties in the transaction know what you know. They're not mind readers, so be a part of the solution and over-explain. There's no such thing as too much information. Next up, and it's a biggie, and honestly, I have taken this in and out of the episode, but it has to be said. Don't have a hero complex. There are agents out there who create issues just so they can swoop in and try to save the day. And let's be real, that's just adding unnecessary stress for your clients. Your job is to facilitate a smooth transaction and not to create unnecessary drama. At the closing table, if there are questions to be answered, I'm here for it. I've had agents challenge me in closings, not for the benefit of their client, but try to set a stage for them to show off all of the information that they know and the knowledge that they have. So there, I said what I said. But remember, the best transactions are the boring ones, the smooth as silk ones, the ones that you barely remember. Now let's talk about closing dates. Don't push the closing date for your benefit. If all parties are ready to close and a deal can close early, perfect, fantastic. But don't rush your clients when they aren't ready. I don't have to tell you that buying and selling a home can be stressful just by nature, so don't add undue pressure. And up next is own up and step up. If you've made a mistake or miscommunicated something, just own it and work to fix it. We're all humans and we all make mistakes. And if you're working with a great team, then we'll pull together no matter who may have made a misstep and get things fixed and get your client to the closing table. And the last thing I want to talk about is the power of cooperation. When the closing team, and I'm talking about the other agent, the title or closing company, seller's attorney, home inspectors, appraisers, surveyors, when everybody comes together to work for the client's benefit, it is a beautiful thing. And I have seen agents move heaven and earth to get the deal closed by doing extra legwork for their client and cooperating with everyone involved and getting even the most challenging deals to the closing table. Another thing, don't bring up unpleasant issues that may have come up during the process of getting the deal to the closing table. This is an occasion for the buyers and the sellers, so leave any stress behind and celebrate the day. Make the closing memorable for your clients. I have agents that bring the best closing gifts, not always expensive, but thoughtful and personalized. Maybe the agent knew that the buyer wanted to paint their new home to make it theirs and got them a Home Depot gift card to buy supplies. Sometimes a nice bottle of wine or a piece of art. I have several agents that are artists, or a plant to make the home more comfortable. I recently had an agent bring a Maine gazetteer. I'm not sure if you all remember those, but it was a closing gift for buyers that were new to Maine, and I just thought that was a really cool and unusual gift. or just take a photo, get a group photo. So bring everybody in, the closer, the real estate agents, bring everybody in for that photo. And I know that you probably will use it for some social media marketing, and that's awesome. But then offer to take a photo of the buyers or the sellers alone, because I'm sure as much as they love you, they would love to have that photo to look back of their family. And those things are just simple, memorable, different, special, and that's what we want at the closing table. Okay, so there, I've gotten some of that off my chest, and I hope that we're still friends because you know I love you all, and I just really want you to act like the hero that you are, because you are playing a huge part in helping someone realize their dream of homeownership or maybe selling their home to move on to a new adventure. And I hope you can get some value from it and just kind of digest what I've said and think about sometimes what we're doing, and is it about us or is it about the client? I have to think about that with this podcast when I'm trying to think of something to do for an episode. I think, is this something that I just want to shoot my mouth off about, or is this something that my listener will get some value? And when I sit back and I'm honest about that, sometimes I have to change my mind on what I'm going to do for an episode. So please just take this and digest it and kind of think about if there's anything you can take from it. That's awesome. This has been the Maine Real Estate Roundtable podcast with Bobbie Grenier. I hope you enjoyed today's discussion and will share this episode with a friend. And don't forget to leave a review and follow the podcast so you don't miss new episodes. The content of this podcast is for informational purposes and not intended as legal advice or representation by myself or any of the guests on the podcast. Thanks for listening, and until next time, keep it real.